This week, we celebrate Canada Day for the year 2020 against the backdrop of COVID-19. Now, the first cause for celebration that I can think of is that we have at least gone past our fear of running out of toilet paper. Seriously though, we live in a great country. Today our scripture passage brings up the topic of being welcoming. Let's see how that relates to Canada and its history. Hi there, my name is Ann Hogle. Welcome to this channel of weekly reflections about what it means to be spiritual beings having a physical experience, wherein I usually relate a Bible reading to what's happening in the world today. So let us begin. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, Jesus is talking to the disciples, asking them to spread the good news that a new world order is possible when we sincerely begin to care for one another. So he's sending them on a mission, and here's how he sees that playing out. We are intimately linked to this harvest work, he tells the disciples. Anyone who accepts what you do accepts me, the one who sent you. And anyone who accepts what I do accepts my Father who sent me. Accepting a messenger of God is as good as being God's messenger. Accepting someone's help is as good as giving someone help. This is a large work I've called you into, but don't be overwhelmed by it. It's best to start small. Give a cool cup of water to someone who is thirsty, for instance. The smallest act of giving or receiving makes you a true apprentice. The way I see it, Jesus is telling us that the giving and receiving of hospitality is an exercise wherein we come closer to our spiritual selves and our calling as children of God. Who knew that church suppers had such a lofty hidden agenda? But there is a shadow side to hospitality, isn't there? For as soon as you set up that guest list of invitees, you are also determining whose name does not appear on the list. In church circles, though our doors are open to all, there are many discreet ways to exclude, like the unspoken dress code that looks down on casual clothing, or the disparaging comments about the parents of noisy children, or the lack of facilities for those with handicaps. Offering hospitality is not always easy. When it comes to Canada being welcoming, we can be proud of many things, including our Charter of Rights and Freedoms that protects individual rights, our universal health care that does not privilege the wealthy, and the Canada Employment Equity Act that offers equal opportunity for women, people with disabilities, Aboriginal peoples, and visible minorities. These are welcoming gestures that indicate that Canada not just accepts, but actually celebrates a wide spectrum of diversity, and thus in many ways offers a cool cup of water to someone who is thirsty. We can also be proud of the apologies our government has made on our behalf that accept responsibility for the damage done to our First Nations people, as well as the apology for discriminatory Chinese head tax and the Chinese Exclusion Act. We learn from our mistakes, and we are not afraid to admit this. These kinds of things make me feel very proud to be a Canadian. But in these COVID times, it's not enough, is it? Across our nation, we are experiencing social unrest, and the voices are getting louder. We may do it with more of a veneer of politeness than our neighbors to the south, but racism is alive and well here in Canada. The spotlight of criticism has fallen upon our police forces. But let's face it, our police force is just a subsection of our population, and racism is found across all sectors of our Canadian population. Why is it that we had to make a law to support women, people of disabilities, Aboriginal peoples, and visible minorities in the job market? Discrimination. Why is it that a disproportionate number of people of color and Aboriginal people are in our jails? Racial profiling. What does it take to make this country a land of equal opportunity for all? How can we actually heal the damage done in the past? Well, if you want to see a society change its behavior on the drop of a hat, there's no better method than fear. Just look at the toilet paper crisis we brought upon ourselves. Fear of scarcity, fear of dying, fear of enemy attack. Fear galvanizes us and catapults us into action. I sent my husband down to Costco to stock up on toilet paper, and then I could heave a huge sigh of relief. I don't even know why I did that. But I saw everybody else doing it, and I thought, well, to myself, it must be an important thing to do. What I'm trying to say is that fear can help us be safer, but it can also easily sway us to do crazy things, unkind things, and even cruel and selfish things. So suppose we don't want our fears to dictate our every move. Suppose the idea of being more generous and caring and hospitable appeals to us. Then Jesus asks us to just take baby steps. You don't have to give up your day job and volunteer with an overseas care agency. You don't have to give all of your money to the poor or stop treating yourselves to vacations. Just offer someone a cool glass of water. Share your time, your financial resources, and your caring. And very importantly, speak up when you hear words of bigotry, racism, or sexism. Speak up when you hear of discriminatory actions. Thank the next service worker you meet at their workplace. Befriend someone who is part of a visible minority. Express interest and curiosity about someone whose opinions or actions you don't understand. As Jesus reminds us, we are intimately linked in this harvest work. And the nature of the harvest is something we can influence. We can begin right now, both in our personal lives and as Canadians, to plant the seeds of compassion and generosity and kindness. This is the new world order Jesus urges us to devote ourselves to. In acts of both planting these seeds and receiving these seeds, we are indeed entertaining the Holy One, Emmanuel, God in our very midst. Let's leave off grasping for the security of a stockpile of toilet paper and instead turn our hands to generous, abundant living. So be it. Thank you for listening to today's message. If you are interested in supporting this ministry or in becoming a part of any of the acts of service of our church is involved in, or in attending one of our Zoom church services, you can contact us via the website which is listed below this video. We are currently focusing on helping our seniors navigate the technology so that they can maintain contact with their loved ones, as well as maintaining an outdoor self-serve food bank. So until we meet again, blessings on the journey.